Yes, yes, people. What's going on? Welcome back to Saeed TV. And we have a preview. Yes, we have a preview. We are playing Wolves this weekend, Saturday, 3 p.m. kickoff. The mighty Wolverhampton. And we have today, we got Wolves Fancast here today. Big up, my mate. Introduce yourself. Let them know what you do, your name. Let the people know, man. Big up to yourself for coming on, man.
Everyone calls me Little Dan. Been supporting Wolves for all my life. 27 years, season ticket holder now. Follow us at Wolves Fancast, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, everywhere but TikTok because I'm 36 and I ain't about that life yet.
Don't worry, man. I've seen people on there, mate, olds on that TikTok page. So listen, there's never time to not be on that TikTok page. But yeah, man, big up to you, mate. And yeah, man, it's a big game for us, man. Um, must win game. I don't know if you've been getting text message of Liverpool fans saying to you, please help us out.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what the Liverpool fans have been talking to you. I know some of them in the chat right now, but yeah, man, you've been getting messages from Liverpool fans there anywhere?
Yeah, since last weekend, it's not just that. We've got Liverpool fans messaging me saying we need to beat Man United this weekend and Everton next weekend. Wolves have got literally nothing left to play for, but have got so much to say at the top half and bottom half of the league with our next three fixtures. Man United leaving that top four door open. We've got Everton next week who are fighting for their lives, and then we go to the Emirates on the final days, hopefully scupper their title hopes.
No. I think for me, we need to help them, man. We don't want Man City winning the league. You know what I mean? So I
Nah,
think for me,
nah.
just take a day off on that day.
It's different for you, my guy. It's different for you, my guy. You probably know a lot more Man City fans than me. So for you, it's difficult. I don't know enough Man City fans to be bothered if they win another title. Whereas Arsenal, Liverpool fans are all over the country. If either of those sides ever won the league, I can't deal with their fan base celebrating a title. So Man City win the title is like probably the greater of evils for me.
Absolutely, man. We got a lot to discuss. Big up to everybody who's locked in. Please do smash the like button on the video. Like I said, we normally have rivals talk at this time, but you know what, man? Grizz is not available, so we thought we'd give you a preview instead as well. So big up to Dan for slotting in. But yeah, talk to me about your season, man. It's would you say it's been a disappointment for you guys? Obviously, relegations, or that's not what Wolves are about normally. Um, what's going on this season?
No, massively frustrating. We put a tweet out earlier on at Wolves Fancast that said if someone at the start of the season had said we'd beat Liverpool, Chelsea, and Tottenham at home and have back-to-back goal of the month winners, you'd be excited about what lied ahead. But it's been so frustrating. Bruno Lage tried to put his stamp on the side in the summer, letting big players like Conor Cody go, Romain Saïs, Leander Dendoncker. And it just went really, really badly. We brought in some good players like Matthias Nunes, but they haven't really hit the ground running as yet. You look at the league table, you say it yourself that we shouldn't be sort of teetering around the relegation zone, but until we became mathematically safe, it's been such a poor season. Yeah, hopefully Lopetegui steadied the ship now and the owners and can back him in the summer with a big war chest to go again next season.
Yeah, Lopetegui, man. You know what I mean? One thing about Wolves, and they do get good managers, though. You know, you had the other manager there, Lopetegui. Like, obviously, you've got this kind of European continental feel at your stadium. You're not going to get no disrespect of Roy Hodgson rocking up at your door. You're always going to get that kind of European feel. That's what it is. Feels like at Wolves. Do you think the fans are okay with that? Do you feel like you're one of the Portuguese now? You feel like you're enjoying life with all the European players, or do you think maybe in the relegation battle they haven't quite understood what it is like? You know what's going on here. Like sometimes you need a kind of Cody, sometimes you need that kind of player that can get in there. Or do you think you like this kind of approach, the continental feel?
No, you've just said it there. We needed sort of leaders up until the sort of January transfer window. We were free falling to relegation. You talked about sort of the continental players who are used to playing in European nights, whether it's on a Wednesday or a Thursday night. And in
Yeah,
a relegation battle, a few of them didn't seem to sort of step up to the challenge. But in January, obviously, he brought in the likes of Craig Dawson. Craig Dawson is not a marquee signing and not a glamorous name. We signed him for £3.3 million. He was in the Europa League team of the season last year for West Ham. He's
yeah.
been an absolute outstanding signing for Wolves in January. Lopetegui brought in Mario Lemina from Nice, Mateus
Yeah.
Cunha from Atletico Madrid, and they've all really settled in well. And since
60
January,
million.
I think we're sort of above. I think we're 8th in the form table since January, so things are promising at the moment. Like I said, we just need to go again in the summer with some good recruitment.
Yeah, look at the names here. This is crazy. Neves, Cunha, Nunes, Moutinho, I think he means Neto, Sarr, Collins, Semedo, Eight Nuri, Jimenez, Guedes, and Wolves are still in a relegation battle. One of the biggest underachievers, bar Leicester and maybe Everton. That you know what it is. Wolves for me should be, I reckon, with the players you've got and the experience you've got, should be at least minimum top 8, top 9. I think for me, like where Villa are right now, that's where you should be in and around. But I feel like now you've seen the introduction of obviously Newcastle. Like Newcastle are basically where Wolves should have been. I've got some feedback there. Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine. Carry on.
I think there's a little bit of feedback. I don't know, but yeah, I think do you kind of sometimes kind of look at the Villas and the Newcastle like we were there, like a couple of seasons ago, we were there.
Yeah, the pandemic killed us. We got to the quarterfinals of the Europa League, and then the pandemic happened, and then obviously Raul Jimenez had his horrific injury away at Arsenal, and just as a club, we've just never really recovered from that. Not having an elite striker like Jimenez was 2 or 3 years ago, it's just killed us. We've recruited so poorly in the striker department since Jimenez got injured. Obviously, Fabio Silva's still a bit of an unknown
Yeah.
commodity. I think he's going to be a talent. I genuinely believe he'll be a Premier League level striker in years to come. Whether he reaches the heights of Football Manager predicted him 2 years ago is another story. But obviously, we signed Sasa Kalajdzic from Stuttgart in the summer.
Yeah, that was a big one. Where's he? Is he still
That's
injured?
he done his ACL on his debut, didn't he? So
That for me is mad, when you think about it. Like he was actually linked with us, because we were linked with him. And Cunha, by the way. We were linked with him because Ragnick at the time knew him from Austria. I think he was at Salzburg, wasn't he? So he knew him from there, and we were kind of linked with him heavily. And then obviously you guys got him on the first game of the season. He got injured. It's almost like what could have been in a weird sense because you have a fit striker, a guy who's scoring goals for RB Leipzig, so RB Salzburg. It's a different story. The season could be a bit more different. Now you have to rely on maybe Costa for a while, and obviously Cunha's come in, but I wouldn't say he's an out and out number 9. He's more like a Jesus, like can drift on the wide positions. So it is a bit of an unlucky situation with Wolves, isn't it? Because if you had that player, it could have been different, couldn't it?
that's the fine margins of Premier League, isn't it? If you've got an out and out goal scorer, I mean, you look at Brentford, take Ivan Toney out that side. They're struggling for relegation, aren't they? But they've got a top level striker, which he has to leave Brentford this summer for me because he's not trying to be disparaging to Brentford. He should be playing European football now. Ivan Toney, he leads from the front well, similar to what Jimenez did for Wolves a few years ago, and he obviously knows where the back of the net is. I don't think Wolves have sort of got the financial resource to get him in the summer, but that's the sort of level of strike I think we need to be approaching.
Absolutely. No, 100%. And obviously, when you look at your team, you've got the likes of Nunez, you've got the likes of Neves. I mean, Neves, man, I feel like we're linked with him every single year. Like, every single year, we're linked with Ruben Neves. You know what the craziest thing is, right? He's got 1 more year left on his contract. Like, that's mad, when you think about it. Still 26. He's got a year left on his contract. So next year, he'll be available on a free. I see reports of Barcelona interested, still United are interested. Ruben Neves, he's not had the craziest season this season. It's a bit more relatively quiet in terms of impact, but he's still a quality player. But would you want to cash in on him this season if you could, or would you rather keep him till next season and then let him go on a free? What would be your situation with Ruben Neves?
It's a horrible dilemma because he's like a club captain, absolute legend. He's already sort of overstayed the stay that we ever predicted he'd be at Wolves for. When we first got promoted, he was that outstanding in the Championship. If he would have left that summer for like a European side, I wouldn't have begrudged him the move because he's outstanding. For me, I'm still hoping that we can get him to agree a new deal with a reasonable release clause, which allows him to join a European side if we get good money for him, because I don't think we can afford to to let him leave on a free next season, because he's such a great player that we hopefully we can get good money for him this summer, because we need to reinvest in the squad. We spent a lot of money in January keeping us in the Premier League this season. That we need to try and get some money into to reinvest in the squad as a whole, because we've got a bit of depth now, but we're still lacking sort of. We need a number 9. We need someone who can put it in the back of the net. We're really struggling for creativity, but someone made the comment, we need a striker that can make poor balls look good, because we've just literally struggled for goals. We scored 38 league goals last season. That's average a goal a game in the Premier League. It's poor. We're on 27 league goals this season. It's poor. We need some massive Ruben Neves. He's got to be probably either the squad's built around Ruben Neves, or he needs to be sold to improve the squad.
Let me know in the chat, guys. Would you take Ruben Neves? Let me know in the chat. I want to hear your comments, because I look at Ruben Neves and I think, for me, in terms of controlling the game, he's excellent. Holding midfielder, he can do that. He's combative as well. I want to say he's a complete midfielder. I think mobility, maybe there's question marks around mobility, but in terms of his passing range, excellent. I remember him coming to Old Trafford last year and he bossed it. Him and Moutinho bossed the midfield. But I want to know what the chat are feeling. Would you want Ruben Neves? A lot of Arsenal fans in the chat saying, I'd take him, an Arsenal quality player. He's a leader too. Yeah, that's one thing that we lack as well in our team. We lack leaders. So him and maybe Casemiro in there, would that be ideal? I mean, in terms of mobility, probably not. But like I said, he's someone that could add a quality and depth. And I think for me, he's someone that could push other players for starting positions. That's what we want. So it just depends on what he has. And obviously, he'd want to move on, play Champions League football. Maybe it's kind of moved on. And this is a big summer for you guys. You got him, and you've got possibly Nunez leaving as well. Matheus Nunez. He's just only come in last season, but he could be possibly moving to Liverpool. So it's a big, big ask for you to kind of keep your main players, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a big summer. You haven't even mentioned, obviously, João Moutinho's out of contract in the summer as well. There's a massive overhaul that's due at Wolves this summer. Lopetegui's got the pedigree to do a massive job. When he took over Sevilla, I think he brought in something like 6 or 7 players, and they ended up winning the Europa League within a couple of seasons. Got them to think it was 3 out of 4 Champions Leagues in 4 years at Sevilla, which is a massive achievement for him. Like I said, we just need to give him the resources this summer to massively put a stamp on the squad for the players that he needs to bring in. I'm really unsure where Ruben Neves is going to end up. Like you mentioned, he's been linked to Barcelona it was supposed to go to Barcelona last summer. He was last home game of the season. He was clapping our fans off in tears, because in his mind he was leaving. The move to Barcelona was pretty much done, but their bottomless pit of money has diminished, hasn't it, in recent years. He's been linked to Man United and Newcastle. I put the tweet out yesterday that I think there's only sort of Man United and Newcastle in the top half that could plausibly sign Ruben Neves this summer. I don't think Arsenal are going to come in for Ruben Neves. I don't think he's got the mobility, like you mentioned, to join Liverpool. I think it's Man United or Newcastle. I think Newcastle will probably be like his best move, because of the project that Newcastle have got ahead of them. And I feel he could be more of an improvement for Newcastle than what Man United need.
Yeah, because then Gomes could go play a bit more further forward. It would give them a bit more kind of license to kind of, that wouldn't be actually a good midfield, not a bad midfield. Ruben Neves, Bruno Gomes, and then obviously maybe whoever's in front of them, maybe a Joe Linton. That's not a bad midfield, man. It's one of them, I think for me, you've got quality players, man. You got that guy left back Bueno. He's a decent little player. He's on loan though, isn't it? Ait Nouri as well. Like, I just look at his Wolves squad and I don't get it. Like, why are you guys down the bottom? Like, it just doesn't understand. Like, and it's just been one of them seasons, hasn't it? But you are lacking a goal scorer. You've got Diego Costa, who he loves playing against United. He loves to kind of, put one in there. And obviously he's got David De Gea in there as well. But Diego Costa, man, did he score last game, didn't he? He scored the other game. Was it the other day he scored? Or was it the day before that? Was it the game before that? He scored one goal, hasn't he?
Yeah, he scored against Brentford a few weeks back. Obviously, we beat Aston Villa 1-0 at home last week due to a Toti Gomez header from a set piece. Diego Costa, I like the guy. We signed him in October last year, and he hadn't played a competitive game since the November before. So when he first came in,
Wow.
he was as fat as me. He was old. He was leggy. But now he's sort of got himself up to a good condition. And in recent weeks, the last sort of month, I mean, I think he got April Player of the Month for Wolves because he worked his socks off. Obviously, got a goal against Brentford. Rumours of talks of a new contract at Wolves in the summer. So we'll be interested to see how that ends up. But I feel we need to bring in a higher level and a more energetic striker in the summer than Diego Costa for me.
Yeah. T, we've already asked him. He's been out injured. You know what I mean? Kalazic. You know, I probably butchered that name, but yeah, he's been out injured, mate. So yeah, man, Wolves have been good late. United have been terrible. It's going to be an interesting game. The thing is, you did get battered the last away game you had. You got battered 6-0 against Brighton. What's your away form like this season? What's it like this season?
Without looking at the sort of the home away league table, it's probably as bad as yours are away for me. It's not been a good season away from home. Whereas at home, I think we've won something like 8 in 10 at home since before Christmas. We're really strong at home. Away, Lopetegui doesn't seem to know his best 11. He's done so many sort of rotations to the starting 11. He seems to be reluctant to go with it's sort of 4-4-2 that we play at home, quite narrow 4-2-2-2. Whereas away from home, he just hasn't got the combinations correct, and hopefully we can get that right tomorrow.
Away. Bro, that's crazy. 2 away games all season. I mean, do you remember them 2 away games? Lad.
Yeah, we beat Everton away. It was Lopetegui's first away game in charge. I went there on Boxing Day. And the other away game is completely slipped my mind because every away game, apart from that Everton this season, we've drawn a lot of away games this season.
We can't afford away games where we draw. That's the key thing for us. I'm just looking at it here. A lot of draws, a lot of losses. Yeah, draws here. Yeah, against Southampton.
Yeah, João Gomes scored the winner off the bench on his debut. The young Brazilian that we got from Flamengo. He's another talent that we're excited to see next season. If Ruben Neves does leave, we expect João Gomes and Mario Lemina to be the midfield pivot for Wolves next season. And those two, when they have played together this season, have been excellent together.
I mean, tell me the style of Lopetegui. Obviously, we got used tomorrow. Tell me the style and what he tries to do. I know we played him last year. It was a year before that, Sevilla in the Europa League. I think it was, or something like that. But yeah, tell me his style. Tell me what he's like as a manager.
Energetic, front foot, high press. Get the ball forward quick. Get your creative players on the ball quickly instead of being the sort of pragmatic way that you've seen Wolves under recent years under Nuno, building from the back and counter-attacking quick. Recently, it's like just trying to be quite intense with the press, and like I said, just get your balls to your creative players quickly and try and make something happen quickly in the transition.
Yeah, I mean, we played you in the game at Molyneux. I was there myself, actually. Tough game, man. You guys made it difficult for us. You kind of pegged us in. You were right, man. It was high octane football. You never let us breathe 1 second. Obviously, Rashford got the winner, but it wasn't an easy game, man. And you guys have got that energy with him, and he's like similar to like Unai Emery, isn't it? The way he's kind of like just on that touchline, just barking orders, keeps barking orders. Got the energy about him. And I think for me, sometimes some of these players, they need that motivator, don't they? They need that someone on the touchline to kind of keep them pushing. And I think you've got that manager, It's just whether, again, like I said to you, can get back in the summer and he can push on, you know what I mean? Because it didn't end well for him at Sevilla. I'm not going to lie to you, it didn't end well for him over there. But is there an optimistic feeling with Lopetegui this, in the coming season, next season? Are most fans happy with his style of football and the way he's kind of approached it at Wolves?
I think from the moment that he came in, I think we were on 10 points after 15 games when he came in. And like I said, we were free falling towards relegation. He's come in, the standards of the club seem to have massively risen since he came in just before the World Cup break. There were comments before he came in that standards had slipped at Wolves. Bruno Lage didn't seem to have the respect of the dressing room anymore. He'd won one title at Benfica, Bruno Lage. the season before, we were sort of in the top 4 hunt until we flopped from February onwards. But the season before, we were picking up points, so the players seemed to just go with the philosophy at the time. Whereas the start of this season, respect for Bruno Lage had massively gone. Players weren't giving their all. And Lopetegui's come in, and you said it yourself, he's there on the touchline, he's barking orders. He seems to have that aura about him. He's managed Real Madrid, Spain, done massively well at Sevilla, so he's got the respect of the dressing room now, and that's where the points of the performances have come since January.
Yeah, and obviously for us, top 4 is massive, man. You know what I mean? Like I said to you, we could only afford to drop, I'd say, we need to win definitely 3 out of the last 4 games. We need to win all our home games. That's massively for sure. And obviously, you guys are coming in here. It's not an easy game. We've got no Rashford, maybe, possibly. He's a major doubt, people. For those that are just tuning in right now, Marcus Rashford is a major doubt for the game due to a leg injury. I don't know where that leg injury's come from, but listen, it is what it is. It's been our most effective attacker this season. But I wanted to ask you, mate, what do you make of Man United and Ten Hag this season? Are we going the right track? What do you make of United this season?
It's a tough question. I saw Dwight York's comments yesterday about how he's compared Erik Ten Hag's to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's record in charge, and Erik Ten Hag's lost more games now than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did.
Yeah, but there's context, obviously, you know what I mean? There's a draws, you know what I mean? The draws were more under Ole, and obviously he's won a trophy. So there's different situations to that. I know it's losses, I get that. You know what I mean? Maybe he might have more losses, but we've won a trophy. Something that we haven't done under Ole. There's a lot of context behind
what players was Ole able to bring in apart from Cristiano Ronaldo? Obviously, we spent Erik Ten Hag's brought in Anthony, massive money, Casemiro, massive money.
Sancho, he brought in Varane. Who else did he bring in? Who was part of Maguire for obviously with that money? Wan-Bissaka. So he has spent a lot of money. Obviously, we didn't get anywhere with it. Obviously, I'm not trying to blame it all on him, but for me, you can tell with Ten Hag he's a better manager. I think with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I don't think he was as good as a manager as people thought he was, and he got found out in the end. It is what it is. But I think with Dwight York, I think he's backing his guy, which is understandable. Dan James, yeah, there you go. Donny van der Beek. There's a lot of players that he bought, and it still hasn't worked, for him. So it's one of them. I get it, but then I understand there's context to everything, isn't there? But do you think we're on the right track with Ten Hag? Do you like his style? Do you think he's a good manager?
I think he's definitely got pedigree. He's a high level coach. I don't see a massive improvement from Man United compared to under Ole. To be honest, I think things fell apart under Rangnick.
Style of play? You mean style of play?
Yeah, I feel like he's probably a bit more better in the final third, but you take away sort of you put Marcus Rashford's form this season under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Who did Ole Gunnar Solskjaer have in regards to sort of strikers? Obviously, Cristiano Ronaldo didn't really hit the ground running under Rangnick.
Yeah, Greenwood. Martial is one of his best seasons with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He brought in Igalo, he brought in Cavani. I mean, who else was there? He had players and whatnot. But I get what you mean. But then the players that have come in, Sancho they've not hit the ground running. Garnacho showed Sancho up. Martial's obviously been injured. We've had to bring in Weghorst because Ronaldo was obviously when A1 and he went out. He brought in Bruno Fernandes as well in there. So you think the style of play isn't quite as what people make it out? You know what I mean? You don't think there's a difference between this football and maybe the counter-attacking style that maybe Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had in charge?
Not enough to make me feel like I'm going to be title challengers anytime soon. I feel like sort of Man City, Arsenal at the moment, Liverpool the last sort of 2-3 years are sort of light years ahead of Man United in regards to title challenging at the moment. I feel there's still major flaws within the United side. Defensively this season, you've greatly improved with Varane and Martinez, whereas obviously under Rangnick and Ole, that went sort of really, really pear-shaped. I still think you need another midfielders to complement Casemiro, don't you? And you need to have someone next to someone along with Rashford who's hitting good double figures.
Mm. What about the keeper situation? Do you think David
You've
De
got
Gea
the
is
same
good enough?
situation as Wolves. This summer, if your coach, his philosophy is playing out from the back, we both need to upgrade our goalkeepers. They're both great shot stoppers. I mean, forget the calamity what happened with David De Gea last week, and obviously the severe shambles with David De Gea. He's still a late shot stopper, but if our coaches want to play it from the back, we need to upgrade our goalkeepers.
So your sense would be Jose Sa.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I think Jose Sa and David De Gea are both great shot stoppers, but they're not good with the feet. So if our coaches want to play football from the back, we need to upgrade our goalkeepers, both of us.
Who are you linked with this year? Are you linked with any keepers this year to replace him?
I've not seen anything concrete. I'd like to think we're going to be linked with Bono from Sevilla purely because of Lopetegui being there previously in Sevilla. I think they're bottom half this season. Bono had a good World Cup for Morocco in 2022, so I'd like to think we might be able to approach him, but I've not seen anything concrete in regards to goalkeepers being lined up. Who have United been linked to goalkeeper wise?
Well, a lot. Obviously, you got the keeper from Porto, Costa. You've got Mike Mania. You've got Onana from Inter Milan. David Raya from Brentford. I think he's a good keeper as well. There's a few keepers and whatnot, but you're right. If you're saying that, and obviously, you know what I mean, Wolves, everyone wants to play out from the back now, don't they? You know what I mean? It's not the style of football from back in the day isn't the same anymore to the style of football now. You've got to be comfortable from playing at the back. I was a massive David De Gea fan, but I think even I gave up after the West Ham game. I was like that's enough now. I mean,
As good as he was, Schmeichel wouldn't be a great goalkeeper in today's game.
you know, the thing is, it's crazy. It's crazy to say that, but then the way he wasn't a kind of comfortable on the ball, was he? Van der Sar probably could, but you're right. Certain modern day kind of or keepers back from back in the day wouldn't be able to survive. Wouldn't. And this is the situation. That's why they have their era. We have ours. But that's why you've got to move with the times, haven't you? You can't obviously keep players from that era.
The thing that blew my mind recently was when I found out that David De Gea had broke Schmeichel's clean sheet record. That shows the caliber of keeper you've got still at the club. But like you said, distribution wise, trying to play it from the back. If Varane and Martinez aren't playing, Man United trying to play it from the back is walking a tightrope.
Mm-hmm. Who'd you rate in this Man United team? Like, who do you think should stay next season? Who? Let's just say, okay, to make it easier, who should stay for next season?
I was one of those generic football fans at the start of the season that when Martinez signed, he's going to get eaten up by the Premier League. He's 5'7". He's tiny. I'm 5'3". And I was taking the piss out of a guy who's 5'7" for being small. It was laughable, but he's been outstanding for you guys. Him and Varane at the back complement each other. It's a really good partnership. Obviously, Casemiro. I didn't realise how good Casemiro was. It just makes me realise how good Modric and Kroos are. That people have never given him the credit that he deserves, Casemiro, because he's outstanding. Marcus Rashford has been massive for me in the Fantasy Football League this year. Those are the four key players for me for United. It's just trying to add a few little zesty players to complement those four for me. I think Sancho has massively underperformed, like you've said. Anthony, I'm still unsure of how good he is. He seems so left-footed that I don't know how he needs to acclimatise quickly to the Premier League. Otherwise, that could be one of your most expensive flops.
Yeah, we've had a few as well, man. Obviously, we got Sancho in here still, man. Do you think Sancho can still perform at the highest level of United, or do you think he's kind of he's lost his ways a little bit? What do you reckon about Sancho?
I think, like I say, he's lost his way. I don't know whether it's a mental block. I don't know what's gone on behind the scenes or in his personal life the last sort of 6 to 12 months, but he just hasn't kicked on from the player that came from Dortmund, has he? He's definitely a talent. I I mean, like you go back to years ago, obviously him and Phil Foden were in the same academy side together, and Phil Foden's gone on leaps and bounds, hasn't he? Whereas Sancho seems to have plateaued to a degree recently. But I feel like he might be a confidence player. I think if he has sort of 5 or 6 good games in a row for Man United, he'll be a massive plus for Man United. But it's just whether Man United can have got the time to allow him to get back to that level where he needs to be.
Yeah, 100%, man. There's a lot of players underperforming. Obviously, it'll be interesting to see what kind of attack we go for and what we kind of do. Big up to Joe in the chat, just Joe Football. Big up to you, my guy. But yeah, you know what? It's going to be interesting to see what
Joe, this is a Premier League chat. You've got about 3 weeks left.
Yeah. Listen, Leeds could be going down, man. I'm looking at their fixtures. I'm like, bro, like, it's serious, man. Man, listen, I don't know, man. But hopefully for Joe's sake, man, I hope you stay up, man. Just for you, Joe, man. But it's a big game. They've got a big game on 12:30 tomorrow, like Newcastle. They lose that game, I can't lie to you. I don't think they're going to win against West Ham away. I don't think they're going to win against Tottenham at home. So, I don't know, man. It's difficult, man. It's very, very difficult. But it just shows you, man, look, you guys were there in and roundabouts. And then all of a sudden, bang, you're safe. I don't know what to think about because our record against you at home, yeah, I don't know. We've won once, I think, at Old Trafford. I think is that correct? Head to head, Old Trafford. Wolves.
Since we got promoted back to the Premier League like 5 years ago, I feel like you've only beat us once. I think that was during the pandemic. I think Rashford scored 1-0.
Rashford last minute winner.
I think there's been a lot of draws. They're always tight games, Wolves and Man United, since we got back promoted.
I'm going to bring you up now. It's very, very tricky, you know. You guys are our bogey team, man. I'm telling you now, man. So look here. Let's go from... When did you get promoted then?
Yeah, it's that... it was 1-1 the first time, 2018 September.
That was Mourinho. I remember thinking he had his
debut. We drew 1-1. João Moutinho scored left foot top corner. I think Fred scored for you guys.
Yeah.
They've been looking at those score lines there. The more always tight games. Apart from, was that the one that was it? Have you not beat us in the league? Have you not beat us in the league at Old Trafford since we got promoted back?
No, we have here, right here. We beat you there. Rashford winner.
That's FA Cup.
Oh yeah, 1 second. No, we have. Here.
That was the Rashford 1-0. Yeah.
There you go. Rashford 1-0. December 2020. But look at it, it's still like 1-0, 0-0. Look at it. Look at the 0-0s, people, man. This was Bruno's debut. Bruno Fernandes was there. Bruno Fernandes' debut here. Again, like I said to you, then you beat us last season, man. Was it Ruben Neves scored, didn't it? Or who was it?
Nah, Moutinho scored, didn't he? Bottom corner. Yeah. Phil Jones headed it out to him and he just volleyed it bottom corner.
Bro, man. And obviously the 1-0s, even at your ground, like 1-0 here and there.
It's always tight.
Why is it though? Do you guys have that feeling? Why is it always tight between us two? Like, what is it? Even in the FA Cup, you beat us a couple of times as well. You know, here and there. And then I remember when was it Jota scored that goal? Like, bro, like you guys, man, just I don't know what's wrong with you guys, man. Like, why do you like make it difficult for us?
It might be sort of players raising the game because it's Man United. Obviously, we've got the Portuguese contingent. Our Portuguese lads don't want Bruno Fernandes in their WhatsApp groups giving it large, do they? So I think they'll be raising their game again tomorrow. Ruben Neves, Mateus, Jose Sa in goal. Jose Sa made a massive save from a Bruno Fernandes free kick in that 1-0 win at Old Trafford last season. So yeah, I think it's always tight. I think both teams sort of set up similar in the style of play to a degree, trying to quick counter from the back. But both sides aren't really massively clinical in the final third, are we, this season? I'm not sure what your guys' record, but it's quite rare we score more than 2 goals a game this season.
We don't score more than 2, like generally, like more than 2. Yeah, like rare occasion of 3, but we are literally like we're so bad. Like we're not clinical. We're not, it's very, very bad at the minute. Last home game, 1-0 against Everton. The home game before that, I think it was 2-0 1 against Villa, 2-0 against Everton. Like it's just very, very you don't know what you're getting with Man United at the minute, if I'm being honest with you. Not scoring goals. Obviously Rashford will be out tomorrow, and also you got to remember as well. It's going to be like the Brazilian versus the Portuguese. You got Casemiro, you got Anthony there. So again, obviously that kind of Brazilian kind of connection versus Portuguese. That's always a big rivalry as well. So I don't know, man. I just think for me, it just depends on what Wolves' ambitions are. Like if they're gonna go at it, if they want to make a statement and go in there and obviously try and cause a bit of trouble, that's where it is. But for us, we don't score enough goals. That's why it's gonna be very, very cagey, very, very. It's gonna be a low scoring game. I don't see it being more than 1.5, 2 goals. Like when you kind of do 1.5, 2 goals a game, it's not gonna be more than that. And that's just it. We might have to cancel each other out. Maybe a 1-0, maybe it's something like that. So that's the way I see it. I don't know what you think.
It's funny the fact that we've had this conversation last couple of minutes because we did our preview show last night, and I predicted it to finish 3-3 on tomorrow, purely because Wolves haven't got anything to play for. Man United need to win. The fact that we're mathematically safe, I'm hoping Lopetegui lets the handbrake go tomorrow, and like you say, go at it, front foot. If we get beat, we get beat. But I'd like to see Adama Traore be brought in tomorrow. I think he always gives Luke Shaw a bit of a torrid game. If Rashford is injured tomorrow, I'm not sure where your goals are coming from, but that's probably me going viral tomorrow when you win 5-0.
No. Definitely not, man. Definitely not. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, like I said, I think other players are not stepping up. Bruno Fernandes' goals hasn't been as much as he can. You've got obviously Martial not scoring goals as well. Sancho's not scoring goals. So the difficulty for us is that we're not creating as well much as well. Like and when we do so, we're kind of panicking. But maybe not having Rashford there might introduce a different style, maybe a different way of playing. Obviously, Garnacho might come in and give us something. But who should we watch out for? You guys, obviously, you got Neves, you got your players in there. Who should Man United fans look out for tomorrow? Say, you know what, be wary of him.
Like I just said, I'd like to see Adama Traore start. I think if he does, I'm hoping he'll have a good game tomorrow. I feel like I just mentioned it that we will probably raise our game tomorrow, and I think the likes of Ruben Neves and Mateus will be players that, if we are going to get a good result, it'll come through those two players, Neves and Nunes.
Yeah, and how's your defense been like this season? Is it they concede a lot of goals? It's obviously you conceded 6 against Brighton. That was a bit of a disaster, but overall, the defense, Kilman's in the back there. You got Collins, you got a few players in there. How's your defense cope this season?
Overall, terribly, but like since I mentioned Craig Dawson coming in, he's steadied the ship defensively. He's made Max Kilman look more assured. Even Nelson Semedo's defensive levels have improved since Craig Dawson's come in. We've got a plethora of left backs that we can choose tomorrow. Hugo Bueno, Totti Gomez has played well the last few games that he started. We haven't even sorted.
Totti Gomez, where did you buy him from?
We signed him from, I believe it was Estoril we signed him from Portuguese side, but he's come through our academy in recent years. I think we've sent him on loan to like Estoril and Grasshopper Zurich. So he's been one who's come through the academy in recent years. And Ryan Aït-Nouri, who's my favourite out of the three, can't even get in the matchday squad at the moment.
Why is that though? He was so obviously so rated a couple of seasons ago or even last season. He's just not. What is it? Is the attitude? Is it a situation of, what is it? Why can he not get in the team?
Possibly attitude. He does seem quite a laid-back character, whereas Lopetegui does seem to like players who are a bit intense. It might be a situation where he doesn't sort of trust him defensively. When he first came in, Lopetegui, Ryan Aït-Nouri was sort of playing left wing. He was coming on left wing off the bench the first few games that he under Lopetegui. So I don't think he trusts him defensively. And fitness has always been an issue with Ryan Aït-Nouri. There's been quite a few times where he's gone down with cramp in the latter stages of games. I just don't feel Lopetegui's got that full trust for him to be reliable for 90 minutes.
Absolutely, man. Listen, I think it's going to be a tactical game, man. That's what I'm thinking for me tomorrow. It's very, very tactical, very, very edgy. Obviously, United with the top 4 race and whatnot. Do you think Man United will make it, by the way? Just looking at our fixtures and whatnot. Who do you think is making this top 4? Like, what's your feeling with United in this top 4 race? We'll have enough, or?
I'd like you to finish top 4 because that means Liverpool and Aston Villa definitely don't. That's it for me. As long as Liverpool don't get top 4, I'm happy whoever gets in. Apart from Villa, I think probably have left it a bit too late after our victory over them last week. It's in your hands, isn't it? It's the same with Villa going for like top 7, top 8. You win your games, you're in there. But obviously, if Rashford's out tomorrow, where's your goals coming from in these last few games? That's got to be the worry for you guys.
The strong thing for us, though, we have 1 loss at home all season, but I feel like the dynamics now a little bit changed. As it's now we have to win. We cannot drop points. Well, we can technically, but it's just you're playing a dangerous game here if you're kind of dropping points here and there. So I feel like for me, it's a very, very key game. Let's get our teams in. What you think would be your team, guys? Make sure you're smashing the likes on the video. Make sure you're subscribing to the channel. Let's get Wolves' team ready here. 1 second. Let's get this up here. 1 second. Create formation. 1 second, people. Don't know what's going on here, but yeah, what would be your generic kind of feeling? Would you go with a 5 at the back? What's your kind of feeling tomorrow? Would it be more defensive while I get this kind of formation up now here?
No, definitely. Like I said, we're mathematically safe now. I want to see us go at United tomorrow. If you've got the sort of defensive players that I'm missing, what's the latest on Rafael Varane? Is he fit tomorrow?
Yeah, he's back. You know what? To be fair, that's good news as well. Rafael Varane is back tomorrow, so he's available and ready tomorrow. So that's good news for us tomorrow.
Yeah,
So
that's
yeah,
a big.
he should be back tomorrow. So
yeah, that's big for you guys having Rafael Varane back because obviously Lindelof and Maguire. I think Luke Shaw's been filling at centre back a couple of times as well, hasn't he? So
yeah,
I'd like to see us go at Man United from the off tomorrow because, like I said, we've got nothing to lose. We're safe. The owners will say, we want to finish as high as possible because every league position is like worth £2 million or whatever it is. But I'll be travelling to United tomorrow, and I want to see us go at Man United. Just see what happens. Just like I said, just go toe to toe. That's why I've predicted 3-3.
Wow. Okay. Let's get your team then. So in back, we have Jose Sa. Will it be?
Yeah, in goal, Jose Sa.
Who else have you got at keeper? Is it him?
We've got Dan Bentley, who we signed from Bristol City in January. Obviously, John Ruddy left last summer, and we've got a couple of sort of academy goalkeepers. Mateo Sarkic, who's on loan at Stoke, and Jackson Smith, who's on loan at Warsaw. So yeah, Jose Sa's nailed on for me to start tomorrow.
Okay. Right back, who you put in there?
We've only really got sort of Nelson Semedo and Johnny Otto who can play there at the moment. So I don't see it being anyone else other than Nelson Semedo unless Lopetegui gives an academy fullback a go.
He's come from Barcelona, man. It's crazy to think he actually played for Barcelona because I don't rate him at all, man. It's very. He was
part of the really, really awful Barcelona period, wasn't he? Where there was throwing stupid amounts of money at players. They signed Francisco Trinquet for something like £105 million, who bombed at Wolves last season.
Yeah, doing well at
Barcelona have got. I say I've got what's coming to them because obviously they've won the league, which is a bit frustrating. But Barcelona not being sort of in the running for Champions League titles in recent years is really pleased to see because the amount of money that they've thrown at that club and it's gone pear-shaped. They deserve everything that's got coming to them.
Yeah. No, I hear you, man. I hear you. We've got here. So back. The centre back pair.
The two centre halves will be obviously Max Kilman and Craig Dawson, who have been sort of starting pretty much every game since Lopetegui came in. Craig Dawson's been outstanding as our right centre back, and obviously Max Kilman's been he's been amazing for Wolves. Obviously came through the academy as well. I give Max Kilman a
He's a good
lot of
player, you
flack.
know. Are you going to
A
be?
lot of
You're
it's
going to be
really
able to keep him
undeserved.
next season?
It's another one of those situations where unless a club comes in with a massive bid, it's similar to, for me, when Arsenal came in for Ben White. Ben White wasn't really as an established sort of Premier League defender, but with sort of the English quality that you have to have for players now, if someone's going to come in for Max Kilman, they've got to spend quite a big amount of money for him just to sort of tempt us to the table.
Left back, who are you going for?
Toti Gomez.
Was it 2 T's or 1 T?
T-I.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh yeah. It's normally centre back, isn't it?
Yeah, he's naturally a centre back, but he has filled in at left back, and that's always been the query over him recently, whether he can do the left back role. But in an attacking role in recent games, he's done okay. But like recently, we've needed the points, so defensively we needed a bit more of a structure and a bit sort of just having that option of having a third centre back. It wouldn't surprise me if Hugo Bueno did get a game tomorrow at left back. So, like I said, I want us to be on the attacking foot a lot more tomorrow. So, you know what? Let's take Toti out and put Hugo Bueno in.
Okay. Where?
Bueno.
Bueno.
No, Bue.
Oh, sorry, Bueno. Okay.
Quite a few Buenos. That's his. I mean, he's got his brothers at Borussia Dortmund. His twin brother. So it's exciting to see.
Okay. Fair enough. In this position here, the CDM role, who you going for?
Can we change it to a 4-4-2?
Yeah, of course. 4-4-2. Which one do you want? There's two here. Do you want this one?
Let's stick with that. Let's just stick with that to keep it moving. Left midfield, left wing, right midfield, right wing. We'll have Pedro Neto on the left and Adama Traore on the right.
What's happened to Neto though, man? I don't know, man. It's a bit
He's
of a
suffered
mad
with
one,
injuries. He's had a few bad injuries over the last few years. Hopefully, with a good pre-season behind him this summer, he can kick on next.
Yeah.
I mean, this is purely my desired lineup, guys, not what I actually think Lopetegui will do tomorrow. If I was to put money on, definitely not Guedes. He's not even. He's not even Adama right wing. If I was to put money on it, I think Lopetegui will probably keep the same side that beat Aston Villa next week. But this is my desired lineup here. So midfield, I'm going to go with Lamina and Neves.
Lamina and Neves. Okay. Yeah. By the way, someone was asking about the kind of rumors of Fati, the swap deal here. Ansu Fati and Neves, that little swap deal. I don't know what that was. Do you anything about that?
Yeah, apparently it was something like Barcelona were going to spend £30 million on Ansu Fati for Ruben Neves. I feel it's one of those. You know best as a Man United fan with transfer rumours. You have to take it with a pinch of salt.
Pinch of salt, man, definitely.
Jorge Mendes is obviously heavily involved with Wolves and Barcelona. There's a possibility that Ruben Neves could go to Barcelona, but from all the rumours that you hear online is that Xavi's not really keen on Ruben Neves. So apparently he wants Illarramendi from, is it Zaragoza?
Yeah.
Apparently Xavi wants
Real Sociedad.
Real Sociedad. I always get Real Sociedad and Zaragoza mixed up. Yeah. Apparently Xavi wants Illarramendi, whereas Jorge Mendes and is it Juan Laporta, the Barcelona chairman or whatever it is, they want Neves. Obviously, Jorge Mendes would make good money on Ruben Neves joining Barcelona, and Jorge Mendes chess, it allows Wolves to get a decent player in return. But for me, with the sort of potential that Ansu Fati has, I just can't see him joining Wolves. I'm not sure how quickly he would acclimatise to the Premier League because he's still relatively young, isn't he? And I feel like his physical sort of frame isn't really ready for the Premier League yet.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Up front, who are you going for?
Mateus Cunha and Diego Costa. I feel Mateus Cunha has been such an outstanding signing. He links up the play between midfield and attack really well. He just needs to start scoring goals a bit more. And then obviously Diego Costa. You might have to put Diego Costa in full here just to get the
Yeah,
exact
yeah,
name
I was
properly.
going to say, man.
Diego Costa, like I said.
Oh, they don't even have him
No,
on here.
yeah, that's mad. Yeah, just go with Diego Costa. Just leave him striker up front. We can work
Yeah,
around
but
it.
yeah,
Diego
guys,
Costa
I
up
think
front.
Diego Costa. They don't rate him, man. I don't know if his name is Diego Costa, though, to be fair. Let's see if his actual name is
It's probably something like
Diego.
Diego da Silva Costa or something, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just not on here.
It should be
Um,
when you put Diego in, it should be the first Diego that comes up because everyone knows he's like King Diego.
let's see here. Diego.
No, you're gonna go around the raking here to find Diego Costa that
No,
way.
they don't rate him anymore, man. As soon as he went to Brazil, man, they didn't rate him. So fair play, man. If I was to do one for my United quickly,
I was right, Diego da Silva Costa.
was it? Okay, fair enough, fair enough.
Yeah, well,
Unfortunately,
let's have a look at United. Obviously, David De Gea in goal.
yeah, right back. I'm gonna change things up here. I'm gonna go with if he's available. I'm gonna go with Dallo right back. I'm gonna go Varane to get straight back in.
See, Wolves were linked to Wan-Bissaka in January, and I'm
Yeah,
interested to see where he goes in the summer because obviously, I was nicknamed the Spider, isn't he? Because of how long his legs are, and
yeah,
I think
yeah.
he is a good fullback, Wan-Bissaka. Whether he's a sort of top four level, I'm unsure, but I do like Wan-Bissaka.
Yeah, yeah, but I'm gonna drop him for this game. I think it's gonna be a more technical game, so that's why I want us to kind of get in there more better. So I'm gonna go with Dallo, Varane. I'm gonna go straight back into the team with Lindelof pairing up with him. I'm gonna go for Shaw at left back. That's what I'm going for. I think for me, getting back on his favourite position. I think Lindelof for me deserves to keep his position. If I'm being really honest with you, I don't think Varane will start. We said that about certain players when they come off for injury, they go straight back into the team for some reason. I think he's gonna be one of them where he goes straight back into. It was like the same with Ericsson. Like they go in and it's almost like fit is in like a glove.
What was the
Send,
injury that Varane had?
sorry.
What was the injury Varane had?
Ankle injury. So it was one of them.
Yeah,
Uh,
it possibly that he doesn't start tomorrow because obviously on paper and Eric Ten Hag will probably hope that with that side that Maguire in instead of Varane, Ten Hag would probably think on paper you've got enough there to still beat us, knowing that you've got
yeah.
more bigger games coming up.
Yeah, could be. But I'm gonna stick with this one. Just gonna see what happens with this one. This is where I think for me, I'm gonna change it up a little bit. I'm gonna put Casemiro in here. I'm gonna put Bruno in the 8, Bruno Fernandez, and I'm gonna put Sabitzer in the 10 role. I
Can I
think
ask you a quick
Sabitzer.
question? Are you happy with Bruno Fernandes being your captain?
I think for me, the words that came out today, I'm not gonna lie to you, there was a lot of things that were said in context, a lot of out of context stuff and whatnot. I think for me, next season I would give it to Lisandro Martinez. If I'm being honest with you, I think he shows the best leadership qualities for me. Possibly Casemiro as well. I think for me they would be my natural winners, but I wouldn't because you know what it is. He moans a lot, and I think for me that petulance, I don't think I would want to see that on a pitch. If I'm being honest with you, because you're meant to be the lead. You're meant to be when things are going wrong. You're the still showing example. So I wouldn't put Bruno Fernandes as captain next season. I would either put as Casemiro or Lisandro Martinez. That's what I would do. But listen, who knows? Who knows? But listen, it's one of them, man. He could have joined your club as well. It's mad, isn't it, when you think about it, because it was linked with you guys as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, any Portuguese player worth the salt gets linked to Wolves.
Yeah. There we go. I'm going to play Sabitzer in the 10 role. I'm going to see if this is a different kind of number 10. Yeah, there we go. I'm going to play Sabitzer in the 10 role. It's not CDM. I don't want CDM. Let's do B. Yeah, we could have that. We could have 2 8s or one just kind of ahead of him. But yeah, I'd go with that one here. And then up front, I'm gonna go with Anthony. Anthony on the right.
Do you feel
Uh,
Anthony on the right works well? Because I've noticed this sort of whenever we play Pedro Neto on the right, because they're so predominantly left-footed, it slows down attacks too much, and that for me frustrates me as a fan.
yeah, but you know what it is though? What he does well though is he hogs the touchline and he gives us balance, and sometimes that overrides any feeling that maybe because if you don't have him on the right hand side, you then have Palestri still young and raw. You've got Rashford if he's fit on that side doesn't work well. So it's not looking good if I'm being honest with you. I think for me, you've got he just gives us balance. Next season we need more output, but he can give you a game at home. He's more confident. Away from home, less so. Um, Up front, I'm gonna go with none other than Martial, like because at the end of the day we don't have a striker. So I'm not
The
putting
comment that
Weghorst
I
up
heard the
front.
other day was, if you could mould Martial with Vigors, you'd have one hell of a striker.
Yeah, yeah. But the problem is, though, you know what I mean. I don't know, man. It's just not. He's not scoring goals now since he's come back in. I don't think he's scored a goal, has he? Let me know in the chat. I think he's assisted a few people and whatnot, but I don't know if he's scored a goal yet since he's come back. Could be wrong. Um, and then we have on the left for me. I'm putting him in there straight away, man. I don't care, mate. Alejandro Garnacho. Alejandro Garnacho. We're getting him straight on the team there. I think for me, Sancho can hold bench. And then, yeah, we go like that for me, people. That's what I would go with. This is my team. A lot of people will have the different point of view. Let me know in the chat. But hopefully, this team beats you tomorrow. Yeah, there we go, people. You said your prediction will be 3-3, did you say?
That's what I predicted on our previous show on the Wolves Fancast YouTube channel last night. Yeah, I feel like I said we're mathematically safe. Let's just go out United and see what happens. We spent about 10 minutes already talking about how these games are always tight. So maybe tomorrow something completely different happens.
Yeah, 100%, man, 100%. I'm gonna go with 1-0. I'm not confident at all. I'm just gonna go with a tight 1-0 and let's see what happens. You know that kind of feeling of, you know what, let's just see what happens in it. Like, not really looking for much, just checking what happens. And if it happens, yeah, Andy, you'll be there tomorrow as well. I'll be there actually. So if I see you, I see you, mate. So hopefully, have a good day out there. Not going to be a huge animosity. We don't really have beef, the Wolves and Man United, so should be a decent crowd. You sold out, haven't you? Have you sold out your allocation? Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think there's
yeah.
been many away games this season we haven't sold out.
Well, there you go, man. So, and you're quite loud. You know, what's that famous song? We are the famous. Is it five at the back? Is that? Have you still got that song still?
Nah, because that was more in like Nuno, weren't it? We don't play five at the back anymore, so it's sort of um, sort of gone. That was quite loud when we got a
That
rendition
was
of that
loud,
going.
man.
The
I
whole
like that
momentum
one.
of the club was positive back then, and obviously the fans really brought into sort of Nuno and the squad that he built. Obviously, took us to the Europa League quarter final, took us to an FA Cup semi final, which back in sort of 10, 15 years ago, I would never have even dreamt about happening. So, yeah, that was
Yeah.
it was a quite enjoyable one. But hopefully, we'll be singing 1-0 to the Wanderers tomorrow.
Well, hopefully not, mate. Hopefully not, man. But listen, people, make sure you go follow Dan, mate. It's been a pleasure, man. I appreciate you coming on. Let them know where they can find you, man.
Yeah, just as you
Wolves
can see there,
Fancast.
at
There you
Wolves
go.
Fancast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Please try and get over across to our YouTube channel at Wolves Fancast and subscribe there if you can. And like I said, I really enjoyed coming on the show tonight. Drop a quick like before I leave because I'm going to go and have my tea in a minute because I'm starving. And
There you
if you
go,
haven't
man.
already, subscribe to the channel. I've really enjoyed tonight.
Yeah, man. Subscribe to the channel, mate. Links in the title, people. Make sure you do like the video. I'll be at Old Trafford tomorrow. Debate show tomorrow after the game. And yeah, man. Hopefully we win, man. Because if we don't, it
Yeah.
ain't easy. It ain't easy.
Ho-
Thank you.